Welcome to my daily review. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, and you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which looks like, oh, it's up 37%, 37 points or 0.18%. Pretty good day, right? No, was not a good day at all. The breadth was terrible today. Just a few names that went up that kind of drove it higher. Every sector was down except for the technology sector. And you could see on this chart here that the index closed near the lows of the session there. The low was 20,670 and it closed at 677. So 7 points off the lows. Still above the 10, still grinding higher. It's just the action today was not good. And the reason why is, the earnings are coming up. With the earnings data, investors are going to be cautious. There was obviously the news from, Nvidia H20, they're going to be able to sell those to China. So that drove the semiconductor group higher. And there was some other, dribs and drabs of, areas that were strong. But for the most part, the breadth was not good. And a lot of stocks were hammered today. I'm just going to go through some earnings names today and some of our leading stocks, maybe a couple of themes here, and have a little shorter video today because the market's just waiting on these earnings data points, and it's good. We're not talking about interest rates, we're not talking about tariffs, we're talking about earnings. And I'm going to get there in a minute here. I just want to point out that the Nasdaq closed 7.1% above its 50 EMA. So, SMA, simple moving average, and not much difference between the two. But it did close near the low of the session, up, like I said, 37 points or 0.18%. So a good day, but it did make that high of 20,836 and then pulled back. If I take a look at the 5-minute chart, you could see the action here where it made that high at the open and just sold off all day long. And this close was, yeah, pretty dreadful. High volume close to the downside. But, it's just being cautious, being cautious. We've had a nice run, being cautious ahead of earnings. I think the earnings expectations are too low, and the market's going to rally on earnings. And it really doesn't need interest rate cuts, but that could be another catalyst out there. Who knows? Let's just take it one day at a time. All right. I'm not going to go through all the indexes here. Like I said, I'm trying to keep a little brief here today because it's all about earnings. I just wanted to point out a couple of these mega cap tech stocks. Google, this one's looking good here, a cup with handle pattern. Once again, it was having a nice day and then just kind of sold off into the closer that yeah, I was out hitting golf balls and I came back and looked and I said, whoa, this thing's only up 44%. It was up a couple of bucks and ended up 44 cents. So anyway, that's just kind of the day that it was. A little bit of caution, like I said, ahead of earnings, but the star of the show today, of course, was Nvidia with that news. It was up to 172.40, made a new high. But the close was, in the bottom half of the daily range for, Nvidia, but still up, 4%. Close now at 4 trillion, 165 billion. So this one's, yeah, largest company in the world here. And there's AMD once again had a nice opening, but closed at the bottom half of the daily range, 40% of the daily range. So we just take a look. And this is why, traders sell spikes, right? You want to spike at the open. 20 minutes in, you're at 158 and you close at 155. So it just kind of sold off all day. And selling the spike is wise. If you're just into, hitting and running and taking profits, that's fine. Whatever your style is. All right, I mentioned earnings. Citigroup reported this morning and had a nice response to their earnings report, up nearly 4%. So that's what you want to see. If you're a Citigroup holder, Wells Fargo shareholders, not so fortunate. This thing got hammered, down 5.5%, sliced its 21 on big volume there. The market didn't like the guidance, the forward guidance for Wells Fargo, and then J.P. Morgan. They reported as well. Kind of flat in the session, just trending alongward. It closed right at its 10 EMA. So J.P. Morgan doing nothing wrong there. Some news items this morning. JDS, they're having an IPO in the Shanghai market. This one was up 7%. Baidu and Uber partner. They announced a partnership. Baidu jumped on that one. Uber, not so much. Yeah, down nearly 2%, just pulled back to its 21 and near that old buy point there, 93.60. So Uber, yeah, looks pretty good. And then TTD going into the S&P 500, not a reason to buy a stock or sell a stock. Yeah, but it pulled back to that 80.55 area, and that thing looked like it just sold off all day, huh? Yeah, made the high. This is why you sell the spikes, right? Gonna pop at the open, people are gonna sell, sell, sell. Yeah. High volume close to the downside. So yeah, still a good day. I mean, for a trade desk, 6.5% as it's gonna enter the index on Friday. Synopsis spot ANSS. And so that one's coming out of the index. All right. Enough of the index talk, enough of the news, enough of the earnings. I did mention earlier about Nvidia, and it drove the one area. I showed you AMD earlier. Broadcom was up 2% on that news. Rambus, another semiconductor fabulous stock. This cup with handle. Was going to put this one on the ready list this week, but I didn't. I put AMD on instead because AMD's got that 147. Well, I like AMD better for one thing. It's got this nice growth profile going here, 9, 18, 24, 36 sales percent, and made this high of 147.75, pulled back to the 10 and found support. Now it's right back to that level and surpassed it today. So, yeah, I think AMD's, if you look at the weekly, heading in the right direction for sure, up more than 6% this week. All right, I digress. And then SMCI was another one that kind of moved with the news from Nvidia, popped slightly, and ALGM. I didn't look at that one today. Flat on the session. But these are the semiconductor fabulous names. I don't want to get into Credo because it's on another list that I'm going to be looking at. All right. I got to look at some of the software names. Some of the software names did okay at the morning, but this is a weekly chart, up 4.5% for the week. But Palantir was up this morning. Looked like it was going to show some strength here, and then just sold off. Once again, people are selling the strength, selling the spikes. There's caution heading into earnings, and today the Congress, let me get this right, they voted down a bill for cryptocurrency, which there was a bill with, this is crypto week, and they voted down the bill, so there was a lot of disappointment around that. So some stocks did sell off with that. I'll get to that in a minute. Roblox just went through 100, like poop through a goose. A lot of people were asking me about 100. Does it affect every stock? Is every stock going to be like Robin Hood and get hammered here and just can't get through? Is it going to be like A-Lab and just get the Matambo treatment? No. Stocks, some stocks do have trouble with 100, but some stocks just blow right through it, like Roblox has. This thing's up to 112 now. And Sanmina, yeah, that one hammered, right through the 100 level, closed at 103 today. What was the other? Oh, Credo was another one that, yeah, it went through 100 today. We'll see how it handles it. But yeah, just to answer that question, no, it sometimes it provides resistance and other times it does not. So it's not a rule that it has to stop at 100. All right, another software name, Oracle, pulled back to its 10, found support, and then popped today. Let me see. CrowdStrike, I had this on the right list. This one kind of, it pulled back to its 50, and I was expecting a bounce, but like they say in Missouri, you got to show me. And this thing ain't showing me nothing. It's squatting here for the second day. So it's got to bounce off that 50, and with some conviction, with some volume. You can see the volume's drying up here. You know, it, Earnings are a big deal, folks, and they're going to move the needle here and with a lot of stocks. So we're going to have to be patient. All right, the electrical contracting manufacturing group, that was one strong group today. This is FN, had that buy point right there at 30, excuse me, 329, $300.29. Just closed a tick above it. So that one looks pretty good. Didn't put that one on the ready list, but I like this. I like a lot of these in this group. I just showed you Sanmina. The other one was a CLS. There's another one in this group. It's very strong stock. Yeah, just surfing the, what I'm going to do since I'm going to go through our leading stock list. the heat list, and so they should be surfing the five, which Celestica is, and then TTMI, another strong stock. Yeah, that one that one actually is on our yeah heat list as well. So yeah, strong stock, TTMI. All right. That's enough for the contractor manufacturing. There was not a lot of groups and areas that were flexing strength today. This one was one of them. This is AST Space Mobile, and up 6.8% above 51 now. Nice pullback to the 21 and bounce. And that's what you want to see. I just showed you CrowdStrike out, pull back to moving average. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see it squatting there. Come on. CrowdStrike. Rocket Lab is another one. This group very strong, up today at 3%, and just surfing the five here, getting a little extended above the five. But Rocket Lab, another one moving higher. That one looks good, 7% above the five. So yeah, definitely a strong name. And then another group that was showing strength today was MP on the Department of Defense contract. It was, wow, it was over 60. Thought it was like 62 or something. Yeah, okay. So it had this spike up to 62.87, then sold off into the close. And yeah, folks are selling the spikes because, earnings are coming up and it's going to have a big, if the companies can't, beat earnings and raise forward guidance, then we're going to have trouble. But I think they will, the majority of them. CCJ, another mining metal. You can see this is a top group. 8 out of 197. CCJ, Kamiko, very strong name, along with MP. U. Energy Fuels, another one of these uranium stocks. Um, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Wyoming, New Mexico. Now, I typically don't show stocks, with the $7 price, but this one's showing a lot of strength in this group. Another one. This one cracked me up today. The Energy Secretary is talking about clean coal, clean coal. Clean coal. Okay, folks. I guess they're just going to say anything now. But it was up 32% this week. Not bad. This is Ramaco Resources. METC is the ticker symbol, and up 15% on that news today. BEP had a contract with Google to provide energy. These data centers are a thing. And BEP, yeah, popping out of that cup with handle pattern, up 7% this week. Very nice. Nice move, 6.25% today. So, yeah, that's a nice move, breakout out of a cup with handle pattern. And the last one, I guess since I'm doing the energy group, GEV, just surfing the five, man. This thing's just a thing of beauty here. Hanging 10. Actually, it's hanging five. All right. I promised I was going to get to the at the top of the page at mcstockchart.com every day. I have a list, usually of about 24, 25, 26 stocks that are the strong stocks that are above their moving averages with volume above $20. And these are the stocks that you need to pay attention to. And this one, I put it on the ready list this week because it's just forming the right side of the base. 31.58 is the high for this week. 2 weeks ago, 31.02. I would like to see it get above that level. Today, hit 31.58. So like everything else today, yeah, it spiked at the open, sold off into the close. But yeah, I like that one a lot. I mentioned ASTS earlier, and that's another one that's on the list. You could see why, above all moving averages with volume. CAR, I want to see how this one handles the 200 level. I think it's going to get there, but surfing the five, just a thing of beauty. That's Ava's CLS. I showed you that one earlier. Coinbase, this one pulled back to its chin today. Bitcoin was up to 121 yesterday, and it pulled back to like 116 today. So it had a sharp pullback, but still, ramping higher. CRDO, yeah, this one I showed you earlier, above 100 now. I want to see this one trade through, 103, 104, 105, and start pushing away from that 100 level and not having it drag it down and be a magnet. FUTU, China stock, this one, pulled back to its 10 today, but still well above its moving averages. Robinhood, I did show that one earlier, having a lot of trouble with the 100 level. They're going to take a vote again tonight on the crypto bill, I believe. I think they're going to separate it from the other bills. So if that goes through, you can expect the Bitcoin and the crypto stocks to maybe have a decent morning, a spike in the morning. But this one's still, having trouble with that 100 level, and it's hit it several times now. July 2, was it last Friday, July 11th? So 3 days in a row here. Monday, Tuesday, yesterday was the high of a 101.89. It was a 101.88 on the second, so it just can't get above that until it can prove itself. You got to be from Missouri and make these things show you. And this one hasn't done it. Very frustrating I've been a shareholder. I'm happy with the stock, but it's just like, either do it or don't. There's other stuff I could buy, but I'm holding on to it. I'm trying to show patience. This is a HSAI. This is another one just surfing its moving average. You could say that 22.77 was a buy point in 24.16. It's trading there right now. I don't think I'm going to put this one on the right list. It's a little extended from its 5 EMA, but still a very strong stock. KTOS, aerospace defense name, very strong. LEU, these stocks have been really strong. The alternative energy, that's a top stock and a top group. MP, I showed you that one earlier. OKLO, another one in that same group. Alternative energy, yeah, still very strong. I know a pullback today, big deal. What is it up? Yeah, still up nearly 9% this week. So we'll cut it some slack. Very strong name. OUST, Ouster. Man, nice pop today. 14.5% off that five. So that's a little extended there, 11% above the five, but very strong name. And then you have one in the leisure services, the cruise line, that's Royal Caribbean. This one's in there because of the price and the dollar volume, but VIK is doing well also in this group. It just doesn't have enough of the same amount of volume. I don't think that one's on our ready list. Excuse me, our relative strength list. But gosh, it looks like it should be. Anyway, I'm going to move on because I got too many other stocks to mention. I showed you Rocket Lab. This Ethereum play, SharpLink Gaming, it sounds like it's a gaming play, but it's really a play on Ethereum. It was up 21% today. Wow, up to 28.97. Let's see how this one closed here. It looks like it closed near the high of the session, and it did. Very nice close. Looking at this one earlier, yeah, 95% of the daily range. So very nice move. Yeah, 21%. Yeah, I will take that. It's amazing how these stocks on a relative strength list have these nice big moves, like Ouster just out of the blue. Whoops. Okay, 14%. We'll take that. SBET, another 21%. We'll take that. SMR, another one of these alternative energy names, man. These things are just pumping. Up 2% today. That's nice. The one solar name, unbelievable. Solar Edge. Yeah. This looks like kind of an ascending base where it goes up, then pulls back 10% up, pulls back 10%, goes up here 27.61, the low's 23. Yeah, that's an ascending base pattern. Pattern Rick's not picking this up yet, but yeah, that looks pretty good. Solar Edge above 28.49. Yeah, it's go time. That one looks good. Okay. Any other ones? Oh, SoFi. This one's been on a heater as well. Definitely a heat stock, just pulling back to the five today. STX, one of these computer data storage stocks. Very nice. Above 150, what, 152.05? Yeah, that would definitely be an area of interest. And what else we have? Oh, SYM, the machines, the robotics stock. Super strong name. And then the last one is Upstart. Then I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Upstart just pulled back to the 21. I don't know if that's going to be on our list today, tomorrow. I don't think it's going to make it because it's got to be 1%. above its 10 EMA. Oh well, they change a lot. They change every day. That's why you have to look at it every day. And this one did not close 1% above the 10. So, okay. That's it for me. Thank you for watching. So for ncstockcharts.com, we never give up. And we also honor the great Steve Jobs with one more thing. We stay hungry, we stay foolish, we stay humble. And with one more thing, I want to go through, some earnings reports tonight. JB Hunt, transportation name, it whiffed. It missed on earnings. I don't know about the revenue or the forward guidance, but it's down 3.5%. You can see it's been in a long downtrend, just transportation trucking stock. Yeah, just in this stage one, yeah, abyss. Anyway, not great, but that's not really what I want to talk about. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have reports. ASML, this is just big powerhouse monopoly in the equipment space. Headquarters in the Netherlands, what we call that, Holland or the Netherlands anyway. 3 weeks tight pattern here. They've thrown out a bunch of stinkers lately. I'm expecting a little better earnings next time. Actually, last earnings was pretty good. Hasn't done much though. So I'm looking for, yeah, something like that should move this stock, and it'll move the group as well. You're looking at Applied Materials and some of these other names in the semiconductor equipment group could be big movers tomorrow, especially some of the smaller names could be pushed around here as a 5 billion market cap. AEIS, it's been doing pretty well, but it's going to be moving on ASML's report. Then you have more of the banks tomorrow. You got Bank of America, you got Morgan Stanley reporting, and you have Goldman Sachs. Yeah, they report in the morning. And then the drug name, J&J. They haven't done much forever. You can look at this 2%, 5% growth. They need to buy some growth. But that's reporting in the morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, United Airlines, and then you have Alcoa, and then oil and gas transportation stock is Kinder Morgan. So we'll hear from them tomorrow afternoon. So earnings season is ramping up. You better know your earnings dates and don't get caught flat-footed because stocks get hammered like Wells Fargo did today. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, ever.